What's up, you ugly fucks? Alright, there's this gentleman who's been watching my videos quite a bit. It's starting to creep me out a little bit, actually. Hey, man, chill out. Stop commenting on my videos all the time. I'm starting to think you have a crush on me or something. This guy's name is No Se Tiago. No Se Tiago. Tiago. Am I saying that right? No Se Tiago says how I started studying Japanese versus how I studied when I got here versus how I study now. So before I moved to Japan, I picked up studying Japanese because my friend lived here and I visited him before, and I was like, man, that's sick. I want to live in Japan. I want to learn Japanese. So I literally, on my complete own, I downloaded this textbook called Genki. I think there's only Genki 1 and 2, but they're for like super basic Japanese and they're super easy to understand. And online, I just Googled like free Genki PDF online and I found it. I don't know if it's still up there, but you guys can look. And I found a download of it. I just downloaded it, and like every day I did one page, literally just one page. And then I would just like review a little bit. Maybe I'd do it in the morning, and then I'd just like review a little bit at night, and then I'd do the next page. And I would just do that on my own. And for the most part, it was easy enough, and like this textbook was super easy to understand. So I just did that. And then obviously that was like my core learning. And then I supplemented with, I would make Anki cards, which are like, it's an app called Anki, means like memorization in Japanese. But there's an app called Anki, and it's just flashcards. There are a bunch of Japanese decks, and you can also make your own decks. And so I would do that for like vocabulary and kanji, just to like look at them just like over and over and over again. And I get like 100 reps in a day. And then there are a whole bunch of apps, dude. But there was like this app called Bumpo, I think it was, or maybe like Duolingo. And I would do those as well. Like anytime I had like a little bit extra time, I was waiting for like 10 minutes, or I was waiting to meet with a friend or something like that, I would just pull out those apps and I would do those. There was this app called, I don't fucking remember the name of it, but it was like red, and it was like a Japanese learning app, and it just had like, it was just all grammar, like different forms of grammar, different conjugations and shit. And I just did that one over and over and over again. Like I said, the core learning was this textbook called Genki, and I could mostly understand all of the Genki lessons on my own just reading it because it was super easy to understand. But when it started to get a little more difficult, I started Googling the grammar topics, and I started YouTube searching grammar, and like there are a whole bunch of Japanese teachers on YouTube that like do lessons on grammar and shit like that. Like there's this girl named Misa. There is this girl named like Yuka Sensei, I think is her name, and she just does like lessons on Japanese language and shit like that. So if there was ever like a page that I wasn't quite sure about, konbanwa. Like these people fucking stare at me all the time, and then I'm just like, hey, like konbanwa, like good evening, and then they look like they're like, leave me alone. Like, bro, just be friendly. Say it back. Say it back. I don't bite. Like I said, I don't bite unless you want me to. And so I'd watch these YouTube videos and just like get a better understanding. And then like once shit got a little more serious and I was still living in America before I moved here, I started doing listening practice because I realized my listening wasn't on shit back when I was in America, because I was doing most of my studying through apps and then, you know, reading this fucking textbook. So I didn't have actual like real world conversation practice. So I started doing listening, and there's just like endless YouTube videos of like JLPT N5, JLPT N4 listening practice questions, and you know, it'll just give you a little Japanese conversation, and then you have to answer a question about the conversation. And I was doing a lot of those, and that was super good practice. Mostly that's how I studied when I was in America, and that got me like pretty far. I passed the JLPT N5, which is kind of like worthless to actually take, but I was just like, I just want to try it, and I don't know if it means anything in Japan, but like I want to take my time in Japan so fucking seriously that like I want to have something to show for like that I'm serious about learning the language. So I went and I took the JLPT N5, which is the easiest Japanese language proficiency test, and I got 2 wrong on like the entire test. Like I fucking killed it, and that was just me studying on my own through like apps and this illegally downloaded textbook and shit. I think I could have passed the N4 actually. Like I definitely think I could have. I was debating if I should take the 4 or the 5, but I took the 5, and yeah, like it turned out to be way too fucking easy. So I probably could have passed the N4. Currently, I've lived in Japan for a year and a half, and I am pretty decent at Japanese. You know, it's funny because people always ask me, are you fluent? And like, I don't, like, maybe I didn't know what fluent was, but I thought fluent meant like you're a native speaker, like you can just like talk like a Japanese person. But I guess like recently people have been telling me like fluent just means that like, oh, like you can hold a conversation. I mean, dude, I could have held a conversation when I fucking got here like a year and a half ago nearly. But I mean, so I don't know what the fuck fluent is, but I'll put it this way, I'm not native. I can have a conversation with anyone about nearly anything here in Japan, but it's not going to be perfect. I'm going to make grammatical errors. I'm going to take certain time to find words. I'm going to stumble over my words. I'm going to pronounce shit wrong. But if someone's talking to me one-on-one, I'm basically good to go. Like I may struggle here and there, and I may not sound great, but like I can do it. And the reason I say I'm not fluent or I'm not native is because like if I'm with a group of Japanese people, like whether it be in my gym and everyone's Japanese, everyone's just talking, or if I'm with like the guys that play in this band that I've been playing with, and they're all just talking, like, dude, I have no fucking idea what anyone's saying. Like they just talk so fast, like it's crazy. Like it sounds like another language. Like I get checked, you know, every time I start to get confident and think like I can actually speak Japanese, I get humbled really fucking quickly when I hang around like a group of Japanese people, because I'm just like, I have no fucking idea what anyone's saying. And then they're always like, yeah, like, right, Jimmy? And then like, you can't just say like right to me because you guys are talking so fast, I don't know what the fuck is going on. Like you have to stop. Like if you want me to understand what you're saying, you have to stop and talk directly to me and, you know, speak clearly, because I don't fucking know if you guys are just like bouncing back and forth like crazy. Like it's crazy. Like this last level, I made a video about this earlier, but this last level of like, you know, learning no Japanese up until being able to speak, being able to hold a conversation with someone one-on-one, and then going from that to being able to speak, you know, just like in a group, like just free flow and just go fast as fuck. Like that level feels like the farthest, most difficult, longest level. It feels like I'm walking Mount Everest right now, and I'm just like still fucking nowhere. So that's definitely really hard. But since now since I've established my Japanese level, I'm taking the JLPT N2, which is the second hardest Japanese language proficiency test, in December, and I'm confident that I'm going to pass that because people that are in my class, who I'm pretty sure my Japanese is better than, they have already passed that test, and I'm taking it after them. And like if they've already passed it, like I know I'm going to be good. And even if you pass the JLPT N1, that doesn't mean you're native level. Like still, like from the people I know and from what I've heard and from how I understand it, even if you pass the N1, like people tend to think like, oh, then you're good, like then you speak Japanese, then you're native. Like, dude, there's so many more levels. Like it's so much fucking harder to be a native speaker than it is to be able to pass the JLPT N1. But anyways, I'm going to be taking the N2 in December. Now, obviously my studying habits have changed a bunch since I've been here. But basically my attitude when I first got to Japan and I was enrolled in full-time language school, as I still am now for a year and a half, I started to think that just because I was in language school 4 hours a day, 5 days a week, meant that I didn't have to study at home. And in a few months, I realized a lot of the shit wasn't sticking to my brain when I only learned it in class, and then I moved on, and then I was like, fuck, like I'm forgetting all this shit that I learned in class all the time because I'm not applying it properly in my day-to-day life. You know, in my jobs that I work, I'm speaking English here, so I'm not really getting that practice in that real-world application. So I definitely have to try my best to keep it up. So like every day, anytime I hear a word or a phrase that I don't know in my Japanese class or anywhere, I put it in my phone in this app called Anki. Like I'll show you guys right now. Anki, it's orange, and I have a whole bunch of decks in here. I have Kanji 2. This is like my recent flashcard deck. It has 951 words. You go in, you click on it, it has your grades, and then you review, and then you have like fucking words. This is what is this? Kichi. Kichi is like a base, like a military base. So yeah, and then you say like fail, hard, good, easy. And like, yeah, like that took me a second to remember what that was, but like I did get it right, so I'm gonna say good. Anyways, like I do those, and I get like at least 100 reps in a day, I would say. You gotta get at least 100 reps in a day. And I have this rule that anytime I'm riding the train, I pull out Anki and I just do Anki. So anytime I'm riding the train, like instead of looking at my phone or scrolling through YouTube or some shit, I get on Anki and I just review my shit. Additionally, I try my best to consume Japanese content, whether it be music or anime or something like that, even though like I'm just like really not into Japanese music all that much, and I'm definitely not into anime that much, but I do try when I can to consume that shit. I'm currently reading manga, which I've never read manga before, but I just started literally for my Japanese reading study. I started reading Berserk because I love the manga, or the anime Berserk, so I started reading the manga in Japanese. I'm currently on like the 7th book, so I also read that occasionally on the train, like if I'm not doing Anki, like I'm doing some type of Japanese study usually when I'm on the train. So that's how I study outside of class. Obviously 4 hours a day, 5 days a week, I am in Japanese class, so I'm getting definitely quite a bit of Japanese study. But like I said, you definitely have to supplement with something outside of class as well. And I don't go out super often, but when I do go out, I try my best to go out with my Japanese friends or Japanese speakers, because dude, I'm trying to assimilate to the fucking country that I live in. I'm trying to assimilate. I'm trying to learn the language. I'm trying to do this shit right. So like a lot of foreign people ask me to hang out like all the time, and I like, you know, like I'm sure they're fine, I'm sure they're cool, but dude, if I'm here, I'm trying to get my shit right. At least for the first couple of years that I'm here, like I'm gonna bust my ass and I'm gonna learn the language, I'm going to assimilate, and I'm gonna learn as much as I can. I'm not gonna be the guy that lives in the country and doesn't make any effort to assimilate and doesn't make any effort to you know, show the country respect and learn the language of the, you know, learn the fucking language of the country that I'm in. So yeah, that is mainly what I do for my Japanese studying. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I do. No, I mean, yeah, that's mostly it. Guys, you can get pretty far studying on your own, even if you don't live in Japan, through like I said, like textbooks and apps and all of that shit. But definitely your conversation and your listening skills are going to be behind. And I definitely felt like my conversation and listening skills were behind my other classmates when I first started in Japanese school, and it took time for them to catch up, because most of these other kids had been in like they had studied Japanese in college or in high school or whatever, and then they came here and I learned all my shit on my own. Like I said, bro, I get it up out the mud on my own. You guys know what the fuck I do. But you know, definitely my conversational skills paid the price, and it's taken me quite a while to get those up to par. But at this point, I would say that I'm doing alright, because I definitely have plenty of Japanese friends and I get my fair share of Japanese conversational practice in. So yeah, my name's Young James, guys. Peace out. No se Tiago. Appreciate ya. Don't be commenting on my vids all the time though, alright, man? I'll have to have a conversation with your mommy. Alright, guys, join my Discord. I will add you to my Discord if you PayPal me $5. We have a dope-ass community in there. Everyone is supporting each other. We're talking about Japanese study. We're talking about Japan. We're talking about dating. We're talking about how to pick up girls here in Japan. All types of interesting shit. There are super cool guys in there. Hit me up if you guys also want me to talk about something on my channel. You can PayPal me a couple bucks, send me a donation or something like that. My PayPal will be in the bio. And, you know, send me a little comments of what you wanted me to talk about. If you want me to talk about, if you wanted me to talk shit about your grandma, if you want me to talk shit about your dad that beats you up or some shit, like, dude, I got you, fam. Just just tell me what you want me to do. And yeah, hit me up on Instagram too, Young James, YUNGJAMEZ. All right, peace out, you fucking idiots. This guy's staring at me. Yeah, you like that? All right, peace out.